Yeah, a very warm welcome to everyone joining us all over the world. This is Sports Chats on Monday on ISTV, where you've got the trending stories being dissected by the best analysts around the world from Nigeria and internationally spread all over the world. We're here to dissect the best stories in the world of sports. My name is Ope Adibari. Taking us into the show is The Dawn.
Yes. Massive welcome. I tell you, this is how we do it. This is how we roll. I'm not joking. I'm not missing anything. I was going to be loud. I tell you, this is Intercontinental Sport TV. And I tell you, people, it's going to be loud next season. Just watch this space. Watch this channel. It's going to be a lot of things coming up. Okay, we were coming first. Talk to me. Who's coming on?
It's only right that we welcome the First Lady of ISTV, Maggie.
Yeah, Margaret, talk to me. You are live, Margaret. You're welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Zidane. Good evening, Zidane.
Yeah.
Good evening, Ope. And actually, yes, I'm super excited right now to be here. What a day to be proud. What a day to be a proud Nigerian. So coming into this show, I was actually happy, dancing that finally we are qualified from this group stage, from the group that I actually thought it was a group of death. But man, how lucky Nigeria we were. Did I say lucky? No, I wouldn't use lucky. Let me say the girls came prepared. They came prepared in this tournament, and I'm so excited. What a day to be called a lady,
All right. Okay, what do we have here? Tell them, let them in.
None but not the least.
All right.
The cheekiest Chelsea fan I know.
Yeah.
Professor Tuku.
Prof, you're welcome to the show. A Chelsea fan to the call. Please smash the like on the video for this great man. You're welcome. Talk to me, bro. All right, he's welcome. No doubt about it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, bro.
I'm happy to be here. It's good to be back today to speak football. We're just 1 week away to the curtain raiser, the community shield between us and the Man City. We're really excited. It's been a long couple of months without football. We're happy it's coming back now. Yeah.
All right, welcome once again. Okay, I'm going to take you far away now. Who do we have here? Come to me. Welcome that person for me.
Yeah, the number one Catalan man.
Yeah, Maki, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. So glad to join you guys. Sorry, I've been an absentee, perennial absentee, but a man has to eat. Right now, I'm working, and because I chose to work remotely for the first time in my office, that is why I can join this program. So I'm really sorry, but I'll do my very best in the coming editions to join regularly.
All right, you're welcome to the show. That's back for you. It's a Catalan man. I'm talking about Barcelona. He loves Barcelona to the death. Anytime, any day. I tell you, please smash the like on the video. Share this video. This is how we go. Who are we taking?
Chief reporter of ISTV,
hey,
Robbie,
you're alive. Robbie, are we missing Robbie? Robbie, you're alive. Where you at? Oh my goodness. All right, Robbie, we can't find Robbie right now. Robbie, jump out and jump in. All right. Who do we have? I tell you, quick, baby, who is the person we are putting inside the truck? Talk to me.
Oh, good evening. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Mute before.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear right now.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Good evening to everybody in the house. Okay, this one that the dawn is gyrating this evening. I don't understand. I don't understand this association between a Man U fan and an Arsenal fan. This unholy alliance will not end well. Yeah. This unholy alliance will not end well. No wahala. I'm here when you guys are ready for each other. It's good to be on the show, and of course, it's good to see Mark once again.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Robbie, you don't have to worry. Man United and Arsenal are joined by color, you know. We're still red, you know.
Yeah, still friends.
I beg you.
Red is not red.
All right, talk to me, Okwe. Who do we have on the list? Let's get him in. It's from Oshodi City. I'm telling you.
None but this is Mr. Kunle in the building.
Oh, Kunle. A Manchester United fan to the call. Please smash the live on the video for Kunle. Kunle, talk to me. What's going on, bro? You're live.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. How's it going? Yeah. It's great to be on once again. A lot over the weekend. Manchester United preseason maybe not going as many would have wanted with the results, but Premier League starting next week, Community Shield this weekend. There is really a lot. The season is back again, and I can't wait. It's going to be a great season.
All right. You're welcome, Kule, but I'm going to start this way. I'm going to start with Okwe first of all. You're going to be the moderator, but I tell you, Okwe, I want to find out, talking about preseason of Arsenal. How you go to rate Arsenal preseason? So far, so good. Over 100.
Well, for me, over 100, I think I might be a bit critical if you hear this, but I think it's 60% so far.
Wow.
Yeah, I said 60% because I have not seen, although I know it takes time, right? But the blend in midfield between Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard is yet to come to fruition. Obviously, these players have never played with each other before. They've played against each other in the past. Playing with each other for the first time, and then 2 out of those players are new to the team as well, and then playing with other new team members as well. And then Declan Rice, in the last preseason game, he picked up a strain and wasn't able to play the game. And then we had Thomas Partey deputized there. So I know that going forward, that is Arteta's dream midfield. And those three not having cohesion yet, I think is a problem, as the curtain raiser is just less than a week away. But good enough, Arsenal have one more preseason game against Monaco in the Emirates FA Cup on Wednesday. And hopefully Declan Rice is fit, he's able to play, and I can see better improvements within that midfield trio. Aside that, business has been good. We could bring in 2 more players. First of all, a goalkeeper in David Raya from Brentford, who I'm absolutely a big fan of, and hopefully a right winger. We do need a right winger, someone to be able to deputize for Bukayo Saka. So for me, 60% thus far.
People are going to still disagree with you that they want a number 7 that's going to compete with Saka. What do you think about that? It seems it's only Saka.
Yeah. That was my last point. I do think that we do need to bring in a player who can compete with Bukayo Saka. Saka last season played a lot of games. I think he started every Premier League game. Even the game against Nottingham Forest at home when he went off injured, he wasn't meant to start that game. But because Arteta felt like he had no choice, he started that game and did go off injured. But then Arsenal have also been linked to Mohamed Kudus from Ajax. Kudus has also been linked to the likes of Chelsea and Man United. But a player from Ajax, we know he has to be priced away with a good amount, with a good value that Ajax have placed on him. And, he will be a good addition to the Arsenal squad. But currently, Arsenal have a lot of players. If they want to bring in another forward player, they do need to sell. So most likely, we're expecting the likes of, Marquinhos to go on loan, and possibly the sale of Folarin Balogun before Arsenal can bring in another forward.
Wow. All right, that's for Arsenal. But I'm going to cross over to that Catalan man. I'm talking about Mark. How do you go to rate this preseason for Barcelona at this moment? What's your take on that?
Well, I would not say it has gone the greatest, but it is not bad either. We were supposed to have played 3 matches. We couldn't play one for the stomach bug that our players had against Juventus, so that was postponed. And then we played Arsenal and lost 5-3. I was really surprised. Arsenal gave it a very good challenge, and it didn't. To me, it didn't look like a friendly. It looked like a Champions League match, like Xavi said, and they really deserved to win. And then the Clasico, we've been beating Madrid at the US, so this is the 3rd time, and we won. So the win is good for the morale of the team, but overall, I would say that we are at 70%. We still need a right full back in the mold of Dani Alves. Ever since that man left, we've not been able to replace him. And Lewandowski is weak. He is going to need a lot of help. When you are at the negotiating table and you don't have money, it is difficult to say no or to dictate terms. So if everything goes the way of PSG, we might end up losing Dembele, because we are getting feelers that they are actually going to pay his transfer clause and prepare for a life without Kylian Mbappe. In the middle of the pack, it's nice to see Gundogan and Oriol Romeu, who has returned to the club after a long time, but we still do not know who is going to be the enforcer in that midfield now that we don't have Sergio Busquets anymore. So those are the headache and worries that Xavi and the board will have to trash out before we start our campaign for this season.
Going forward with Barcelona, I want to ask if there's any player you guys Barcelona is looking forward to,
Yeah, I think right now more emphasis is being placed on cutting off dead wood before you can even think of buying players. Our ideal midfielder will have been Martin Zubimendi. Is a Real Sociedad player, and Barcelona is after him. But the problem is he has a $16 million release clause. Ordinarily, on a good day, that is the money Barcelona can play. They can pay that money without batting an eyelid. But when you don't have money and you are constrained by a lot of factors, you can't even enter negotiation. So we are not dealing with that yet. So they want to first do away with Ferran Torres. They want to do away probably with Frank Kessie and maybe one other player, Serginho Dest. Yeah. So once that is done, they can have a pool of money to buy 1 or 2 players.
Yes. Moving forward, I'm going to ask Margaret, the preseason of Manchester United so far over 100. How are you going to rate Manchester United, Margaret?
Thank you, Didon. So far so good. I would say United have not really impressed me or probably us the fans this season. Despite starting the first 3 preseason game very well, we were expecting to see them continue with that momentum, but all of a sudden they lost 3 in a row, which is actually worrisome because the season will soon begin. In less than 2 weeks, we'll be talking about another new season, which is something that United need to be worried about. Up front, United are actually poor. I don't know when we're going to have an issue, when that particular problem will be solved. Because you see United going front to score. They do all the old work. Everything is being done very well, but the finishing has always been the problem.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Maybe the coach, the coaching crew, they've not really drilled the players enough on how to score in the final third. And then the back also, I would say, I would not really say really that poor, but considering the fact that Onana just came to the club and he's still used to the whole United setup, is not just there yet. So I am not going to actually give those goals, some of the goals that were considered, especially the one against Madrid, I'm not really going to hold him responsible because one, we saw what happened. He's just new. And then our back four, It's just always almost like the same thing. If Maguire, if Varane, Martinez don't start, United always have that problem. It's always shaky. It's always shaky. That center defense is always shaky. And putting in Maguire there, I don't know. I don't know what United planned for him this coming season. But the midfield, I would say, okay, the midfield, there is a little improvement though. United don't actually really have problem in the midfield, but up front is where United have problem. And I don't know what will happen at the beginning of the season when the season starts. I don't know what will happen, what the manager have in store for the fans. So hopefully the manager will try to check all the mistakes that is being done and try to put them into good use.
All right. That's Margaret talking about Manchester United preseason so far. I'm going to switch over to Prof. So far, so good. What do you think about Chelsea at the moment? The preseason, they won the beautiful cup.
Like I told Prof, in camera, I told him and Sheye to hold on to that trophy. They should hold on tight to it.
Well, look, one thing about us is our expectations are not over the top because, this Chelsea team are very, very young. They are the youngest side in the Premier League, and that's incredible. So they've just gone on to win the first Premier League Summer Series, and they did very well. Look, coming from where we were last season, I'll take this. I'll take the performances. I'll take the style of play. I'll take the fight. Mostly, they're learning to play with each other. Very young players, but you can see that they want it. You can see the fight, the drive. Listening to the manager, I can see this is the real Pochettino style of play. A 4-2-3-1 with the wingers inverting and the fullbacks, bumping forward. Chilwell loves it. James loves it. Malo Gusto, the new signing right back, he loves it. So you can see these players taking to the manager's policy and style, and it's great to watch. They went unbeaten against these teams in the summer series preseason games. So it was good to see. Now we've just signed Axel Disasi, a defender from Monaco, for 45 million euros, just to come and cover up for the unfortunate Wesley Fofana, who I think tore his ACL. So that's a good backup for him. I think that the right-sided defense is covered for a long time. We also have the left-sided part of the defense by Chile and Colwill. I hear now that Colwill is in advanced stage of agreeing a new deal, a long-term deal with Chelsea. So for me, the right centre back and the left centre back is sorted for a long time now. So Chelsea have to just go ahead and finish up the Caicedo deal that they have with Brighton. I think that one will come, but I think it will come very late into the transfer window. I think there'll be a lot of back and forth, but I think Chelsea will get it over the line. If they can do that, also we're in for Robert Sanchez, the Brighton goalkeeper. We all know he has been dislodged by Steele. So Chelsea are in to sign him as well to come and give Kepa a competition. So far so good. I think I'm seeing very nice things. Nkunku, Jackson, Nicholas Jackson, the Chelsea fans are loving him. Some of them are calling him the new Didier Drogba. He plays with so much guile, fight. It's very strong. His hold-up play, link-up play, beautiful to watch. It's just preseason. We're not getting ahead of ourselves, but we can't wait for the season to start and see these players really flourish. So that's why I said 80%, because from where we're coming from, last season it was a poor, disastrous season last season, and so to see this new set of young boys doing what they are doing now, it's exciting.
All right, Michael Jackson says Robbie. Oh, it's all right. Mokwe, what do we have on our list? What are we talking about after this right now?
Yeah, I think it's only right that we talk about the new updated rules to the forthcoming EPL season, since that's going to be like the first major league that's going to be starting off coming for this new 2023-24 football season. So the Premier League Association, just a couple of minutes before we started the show today, they've announced that they've added new rules, or rather updated the rules in terms of the EPL, but most especially it's about, first of all, time wasting. It's about the conduct of players now and how they can then book players for harassing referees and managers as well for leaving their technical area. One manager who is very guilty of this is Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. But Arteta in particular, he loves if Arteta could be on top of his players' heads, if he could be in their ears, I know he would do that because you see him leaving his technical area a lot, basically trying to tell the players what to do. With Pep Guardiola, is the same. We saw it in the Champions League against Real Madrid. He was trying to coach the players, telling them where to pass. Kevin De Bruyne, at a point in time when he lost the ball because he was carrying it, had to tell him to keep quiet. But I can't use the exact words he used on this platform. But yeah, he did have to tell him to just keep quiet so he could play his game and he could be left alone. So managers will now be restricted to that. However, the way it has been shaped now, for the Premier League in particular, for each half, they will not play more than 55 minutes. The goal is to not play more than 100 minutes in a football game. So we know usually it's 90 minutes, but it's not going to exceed more than 10 minutes of added time. So players will then be charged for time wasting. If you are wasting too much time on the ball, they'll be charged for time wasting. So each half is going to be scrutinized to make sure that they don't exceed 100 minutes of play. And then a higher threshold for contacts between players will be applied. Over the years, we've seen the physicality of the Premier League have a double standard.
Yes.
You will see one type of tackle in one weekend, you see it in one game. A referee is giving a yellow card. In the next game on Sunday, that same challenge happens, and then the player is given a red card. So we've had a lot of double standards when it comes to officiating in the Premier League for the last 5 years at least.
5 years, yeah.
I remember a lot of times last season, especially last season, we kept having debates about certain decisions that were made by referees, So this is a good one, and it will make things better. I think we should leave the room open to the other analysts for them to share which of the rules they feel is needed the most, or which one will be most welcome by every other club.
So we are going to switch to Prof. Prof, you say you have a reservation for... Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Once the news came in, and I saw that they were taking on board the style that was used at the World Cup for the added time, I was impressed because look, time wasting there's no room for it in football these days, and players use that to get away with a lot of things in football. So now they know that there is no hiding place. Whatever minutes you waste will be added on the board. I am just a little bit not, I'd have a reservation about the manager's conduct when they say the manager should not leave their technical area. I think when you, like Okwe said, a manager like Mikel Arteta, it almost feels like you're telling him not to show emotions. That these managers thrive on passion. Mikel Arteta, the likes of Jurgen Klopp and Pep, that's what they thrive on. That's what they know how to do. They want to get in their players' faces, and so I think it will be if they take this rule. If they take it on board too much, if they enforce it too much, I think it's not something I would love to see. Seeing Mikel Arteta, likes of Arteta, and being sent off. And I think the rule also says when you're sent off, I don't think you're allowed to go on the stands anymore. You can't watch the game. I think you'll be sent completely from the view. You can't see the match live anymore. As opposed when if you were sent off previously, you go on the stand. So I don't think that would be a very bitter taste when I see managers being sent off for showing passion, basically, to the game. And also, there's another rule that says the players should not overcrowd the referees. As soon as I don't think a person talked about it, if you overcrowd the referee, you'll be yellow carded. If you run across to the referee as well, you'll be yellow carded, and which is down. I'm happy to see that because then people think they influence the decisions of the referee by doing that. So it's good to see that that has been addressed. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents on the new rules. I think it's fantastic, the timing, but the other part, I hope they don't enforce it too much.
All right. Do you want to say something about that, Kunle? Is there anything you want to talk about the rules going forward into this new season, Kunle?
It's. I think it's needed really because the Premier League has always received complaints, criticisms about how conduct, when it comes to the conduct of players, and when it comes to time management and all of that. But for me personally, I would love to see is that once there is a VAR check going on, please let the clock stop. It doesn't make sense where the VAR, where a check is being conducted for like 5 minutes.
Yes.
And the clock is ticking. It doesn't make sense. Why can't I feel with VAR now? Football should be more like, even though I sometimes do not like the model of American sports, but you will notice like now in basketball, even in American football, once there is a foul, like once a player is fouled, immediately the game stops.
Yeah.
It is time only ticks when action happens, even in NHL. That is how the sport. Once there is a stop in play, even if it is just 3 seconds, the clock is going to stop ticking. And once action starts, it continues. I think for the sake of that VAR, I'm not saying that maybe when there is a foul or even when there is a foul, because like we said, some players always want to play act or to waste time. Well, and that's not good. So for me, my own is let that clock stop ticking once there is a delay. I feel it just makes sense, because what is now the point of there is now a delay of 6 minutes, then you will now come and add it in added time when all the players are tired? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So just stop the clock and then you can continue the game from there. That's just what I would love to see, though. But that aside, I think it's not bad. The changes are not bad.
All right, let me quickly ask Robbie about this. Al Hilal paid £120.3 million for Napoli's Osimhen striker. It was offered £1 million per week. Do you think Osimhen should be kill a few? This is funny now. 1 million.
I think there are two contrasting things here for Victor Osimhen. Yes, the money is tempting, and Odion Ighalo gave an interview that I think it was also published on some social media outlets last week, where he said that footballers play this game not for passion but because of the money. And that for somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo to have left Europe and come to Saudi Arabia, that it has to do with the figures he saw in front of him. For Victor Osimhen, I think the crossroad here is a factor. Looking at how young he is, and you're asking yourself, is this the next move for his career? To leave the Italian Serie A, where he just won the league. He was the highest goal scorer, not just in the league, but he was the highest goal scoring African in the league, and fly away and go and play with sand in Saudi Arabia, all because of money. Now you're looking at for how long is he going to play there? Secondly, how does it sound, or how is it going to look like if he wants to come back to Europe and play European football? Let us not forget, Saudi Arabian League is not on our conventional TV as we have it now. DSTV in any way. Sorry, I'm not even supposed to say it because they are not paying for this advert. The cable TV are not going to show the matches at all. Secondly, you're looking at the fact that what kind of a signal is that sending to the national team? What are the implications, not just today, but the next season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons from now, will it have on his career and what he's trying to build in terms of his football legacy? If Osimhen right now was maybe like 28, 29, and this kind of money comes calling, in fact, I'll be the one to start screaming. If I'll go and call my friend that is his agent, I better tell your guy, make him go Saudi Arabia, make money touch all of us. Yeah. But he's still somebody that is also still trying to build his legacy in Europe. So I don't think this time is right for him to move. Let's not forget that this same Al Hilal came for Kylian Mbappe some weeks back, and the man said he was not going, flat out. And I said to people, when this whole offer came on air, and okay, Al Hilal wants to pay Kylian Mbappe so and so amount, and people brought out their calculators, they were calculating how much Kylian Mbappe was going to get per week, how much he's going to get per day, per seconds, per month, and so on and so forth. I just told someone beside me, I said, the man that is in the middle of this whole storm is not even freaked with the amount of money being thrown at him. as if I knew it. The man came out and said he is not going. So for Kylian Mbappe that is young and that understands the dynamics of this whole thing, and he has set his heart on, he wants to play European football. I think Victor Osimhen should also look at it from that angle. I am not a family to him. I am not close to him. I have no say over what he does with his career. But I think at this point in time, he has to look at the fact that what legacy or what path does he want to walk? Because we can all agree that his career is just starting. 3-4 years ago, who was Victor Osimhen? He was more or less like just every other regular player in Europe. But last season is more or less the opening chapter to his career as a football player in the Italian Serie A. What is the next chapter of his career? What does he want to write on it? So I think Al is just fooling around, and it is left for the player to decide where he wants to go to. For now, they want to head into.
All right, Mike, I'm going to quickly ask you something, Mark. Based on this Saudi Arabia's invading the Europe right now, I think with the money they have, they can buy any TV right. I mean, anything can happen. Don't you feel they're coming up with something, buying all these stars, luring them with a huge sum of money? And don't you think it can change? Players will start thinking, wow, what am I? At least I'm playing this game because of money. Do you think anything can happen?
Yeah, that is true. But if you ask me, my honest personal opinion is that it depends on who you are asking. It depends on, for instance, I try to put myself in the position of a professional footballer playing in Europe. I could be 25 or 26 years, or I could be 30 years, or just over 30. The question I want to ask myself is, what do I want out of this career? How do I want to be remembered? What are my achievements? If money is my priority now, then I don't have to think twice. But if I want to set a legacy and I just want a last hefty paycheck later on in my career, then for me, I would rather stay in Europe. The reason is because, yes, every work you do for money, but you also have to be passionate about it. If you are what your onions, you are a full professional, you want to blaze a trail, you want to leave a mark. People like Ronaldo. Ronaldo, for me, was justified in going to Saudi Arabia because he had already won it all. He was not the man he used to be. He was like 35 going to 36, and the clock was ticking for him. And he had lost favor where he first became a star. And so the next best thing was to go there. Perfect. Messi decided not to go there because it was like, I'm still 34 going to 35. Or 35 going to 36. I still think I have some fuel in the tank to do some, and I don't want to let this competition continue. Let me just go to a place where it's new. Probably I'll learn a new language. I'll be able to speak English too when I'm interviewed. And then Miami, it has a strong Latin influence, Spanish influence. Yeah. So maybe that could have informed the decision. And he didn't want to come back to Barcelona because the money is not there. Secondly, there will be so much pressure. Barcelona want to win the Champions League. And so he's not the man to do it for them anymore. So, but for the Saudi Arabians, looking at it from their angle, it is a good thing they are doing. They are pumping money into sports because, especially football, because they want that global acceptance. But it is not going to be instant for the fans. For the players, it is a good thing. They are the ones getting the money. But for us, the pundits, the fans, it's going to take some time. Because Saudi Arabia, their how do I call it? Their environment, because it is religious, it is restrictive. So the players will have to adjust to a lot of things. You cannot party anyhow you like. You cannot holiday anyhow you like. You cannot, dress anyhow you like. I even heard that they had to relax some rules for some players to be able to live and work there. So it will take a long time for them to get to the level that we see Europe. And of course, the Champions League, they don't have that in Asia. Yeah. So that is also another factor. So you want to, so that's it.
All right. I'm going before we switch over to another question we have because of our time. Two people have indicated. I'm talking about Margaret and Kunle wants to talk about Osimhen. I'm going to call on. Should Kunle go first or Margaret? Or ladies first? Kunle Buru. Kunle?
Ladies first.
Kunle, do you agree? Ladies first. Where Kunle this?
Ladies
That's
second.
the rule.
I'm
That's
going
actually
to
the rule.
let Margaret go. It's a ladies' world anyway. So let her go first.
No. Don't bring that one. Which one be ladies?
Adam came before Eve.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, let's give it to the Iron Lady before he rape for all of us. Talk to me, Margaret. 1 minute.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody, well, I think one of the main thing, okay, aside winning trophies, yeah, you also want to look back after retirement to look at what you've gathered, what you have, how fat your bank account is. You don't want to retire and then go back and then start up all over again, start thinking, especially if you didn't make any investment, like what happened to former footballers who at the end of the day, they ended up maybe having going bankrupt and all of that. I'm not sure a player like Osimhen, being in Nigeria and that he is, will want to that kind of thing to happen to him. So fine. There is no assurance that if he plays Champions League, he's going to win Champions League. No. He has played in Europe. He has played in Europe with
Napoli. Margaret,
Napoli.
1 minute. 1 minute is going. I lost Margaret there. I can't hear Margaret for now. Kunle, can you switch on? Just 1 minute, please.
Okay. Yes. So what I would want to say is just that I just want to kind of go in the opposite direction of probably why maybe a move to Saudi Arabia is good. Now, I know people would be like, Saudi Arabia, what is in it and all. I'm sure it's money and all. But I think it's really beyond money, because I think Saudi Arabia is really trying to build something that, because let's know, for centuries, for decades, Europe has been seen as the standard, or Europe has been seen as the standard of football, and that's because that is where most of the money is. If you look at other countries, even South America, for me, I feel South America is even better than Europe, but you look at it that the reason why South America is not developed is because they don't have money. That's why you see them selling, right? But now look at the case where we are having a country where they are actually buying people from the best league in the world and taking them as at when they are still ripe. That means there's actually something. And this is not about China. The China model is different. Saudi Arabia is actually doing this for a sustainable thing. So I'm not trying to say maybe the Saudi league will maybe compete with Europe or something, but it might actually be a good alternative of a place where people can actually go and play. And, I think all these other European leagues might probably have to, because let's not be real, many of these European clubs, they are not playing well. Or let me say they are struggling. You look at Barcelona, Mark was saying it, they can't pay 60 million for a why? Juventus, there was a time Italian Serie A was the go-to place. Premier League was not even yet hot then. But once money came in, they were able to go there. So if Saudi Arabia is where the money is now, and that is where attention is going to be, why not go there? Why not go there? Syria is not what it used to be before, right? La Liga said the interest is dwindling. But if another place there can be, why not? Why not? So I think
are you saying Osimhen should go to?
Yes. Why not?
I will screenshot.
Why not?
I will.
Let's take it as a challenge. I understand where people are saying that, because but my own grounds is, why must Europe be the standard? Why can't he make a name for himself in another? That's just the problem I have with football, where we feel like if it's Europe or nothing. Because I feel this attention on Europe all the time is why even our leagues are not developed like in Africa. So that's just my take. Yes.
Only 1 second. I'm coming back to that. You and Mike, I want you to solve this problem for us. It's going to be on the debate show. I'll put you guys on. You said, I mean, Arab money can do anything. I mean, so far, what do you mean by Europe every time? They can create their own Champions League. They can do something to make it interesting. They can buy rights. They can. So it's
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I think what I'm trying to say is that I think we should have an alternative.
Yeah, they should. Yeah,
let's try to have an alternative. Why must everything be Europe?
They can.
You know, that's just my take.
They can start their own stuff. So
can I chip in something briefly?
No, okay, Mark. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Just 1 minute. I won't be long at all. It is important that what Kunle said is very okay. He's entitled to his opinion, and I think he has made some very good points. But we should understand that Saudi Arabia is just one country in Asia. When we talk about European leagues, we talk about the Big Five. Then there are the next to that level, like Portugal, like Holland, which are even, respected leagues because some of their teams have won the Champions League before. But now Saudi Arabia is starting to do a new thing. And they've started giving people good money for no taxes, great money. So it is left for a player to make his choice. But they are just one country in Asia in the midst of many. When will China start to do that? When will Korea start to do that? When will the Indian League? They are also trying to, but they don't have the money. When will they reach that level? All that should come into the discussion.
I got you right now.
For me, I'll quickly chip on it. Bidon, sorry.
All right, 1 minute.
It's not the first time we saw China do the same, didn't they? I mean, China did the same, and they came up and they were buying players left, right, and center. I think they've cooled down a little bit. The approach from Saudi Arabia is not sustainable, as far as I'm concerned. Secondly, they are not doing it organically, and it's false. It's all based on money. It is wrong against football. Morally, it is very, very wrong. You cannot tell me that a player like Osimhen should go to a league that is absolutely zero competition. It's worse than the MLS. There's nothing there. So going there, how do you showcase? How do you watch him? How do you compete? How do you compete against people that you're clearly better than? You're not giving yourself the competition. You're going to reduce the standards. You're reducing your standards by going to Saudi Arabia, and it's very, very wrong. I think if Shakir is not taking,
Prof, money is important. Money is important.
I mean, everything is not about money. At the end of the day, everything is not
Kunle
about
has a point too. Kunle, talk to me.
Yeah. Kunle, Prof, perish that thought. It's not about money. Wait, Prof, perish that thought that is not about money. Football is a commercial business now. No. When it was not about money, was like in the 50s, 60s, the era of Pele. But once football started becoming commercialized, where it became televised, in 60s, 70s, all those times when European football was, when Liverpool, the Nottingham Forest, football wasn't televised. And that's why you would see that players hardly go. You wouldn't see maybe Real Madrid buying a player from England and all of it. But it was because it became more commercialized, televised, that was why it was. So saying that it is not about money is totally people are in it for the money. If it's not about money now, sorry?
It shouldn't be all about it. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't
be. Yeah, it shouldn't
be. Mbappe rejected the world offer. He didn't go for it, so it shouldn't be. I'm saying that there's a point where you go where all you think about is money.
Yeah.
And then this thing now, I think the offer. You've won everything in football. He has no profit. What has Osimhen won? At what age is he that he's thinking about retirement money at this stage? It is more.
But Saudi Arabia have bought some players. But Saudi Arabia have bought some players that are still well,
let me even say this, Kule. I'm telling you right now that if you are not careful, these people, they can swim in such a way that we'll see Saudi Arabia taking over. And
not taking over per se, but I think it will what I think will happen is it will be an attractive place. Now, you see, the thing about China, why the China model does not work is because China's own kind of model is like, they want to crash a market. That's what they do. where they see competition somewhere or not. I mean, I can use Nigeria as an example, and some people do know with some Chinese brands that enter into the country. That's what they do. They want to crash the market. But those kind of things are not sustainable. But when you look at the way Saudi Arabia is doing it, this is not even just about bringing. Saudi Arabia actually wants to do things to improve. Saudi Arabia, the long-term goal is that Saudi Arabian players will also emerge from this. So obviously, to do that kind of a thing, you need a bit of experience. So if you are having a player like the Karim Benzema or a Ruben Neves or some players who are still at their peak, right? It is definitely going to have an impact on the structure. And then don't forget, they are also hiring good coaches. And let's not even forget that they have a very celebrated Michael Emenalo as their director of football.
Can you imagine?
So yes, this is somebody who is like the best. Sorry?
I said it is what good money without taxes can do.
Exactly. Yeah. So even though, yes, the attraction, but it goes to tell you, don't even forget that this person they hired, was it not this English referee to head their refereeing association? Is it not was Howard Chris Clattenburg? Was it Howard? Clattenburg. Thank you. And Clattenburg is respected. So it tells you that they are doing things across board. It is not just about, they are putting structures in place. It's not just about buying the players. There is money to spend, no doubt about it. But they are trying to put structures in place.
All right, Kunle. I'm going to tell you there's a breaking news. I just found a breaking news about Van Dijk named Liverpool captain and Alex Arnold made vice captain. What's your take? Okwe, you roll out with this?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. A lot of times from the 2018-2019 season, whenever Jordan Henderson is not playing, you see Virgil van Dijk with the armband. And I think that makes sense to me. He's someone who is a natural leader. And since he joined Liverpool, he has been a huge personality in the dressing room. So he has won the armband many times. So it makes sense for him to be the main captain now. And for young Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think that is great responsibility that Jurgen Klopp has put on him. And, it just shows that he's mature enough to actually grow into that role and become an important player for Liverpool. I think this forthcoming season is going to be very, very important for Trent Alexander-Arnold's career because you could see a change in his position. But most importantly, he is going to be more important for Liverpool than ever. So, yeah, all eyes are on him. But it's a good decision by Jurgen Klopp. Van Dijk being one of the senior players in the team, experienced, very good. And then you've got an Alexander-Arnold, who is from the Liverpool Academy, Liverpool boy through and through, Merseyside boy through and through. So that's a perfect decision by Liverpool and management staff.
All right. Kunle, we're still going to come up with this debate about this Saudi Arabia. I'm looking for the title you are going to give it to it. We should debate on this. And I think you and Mark will go for this debate. We'll schedule the dates. We'll do it live on Instagram. On our Instagram page, it's going to be massive. We're going to do promo for people to know we want to do. It's very important because even Kunle made mention about this. It says, Kunle, hold on. He said, I'm looking for what you said. He said, how did Kunle, I'm looking for that question. He said, so how did Premier League grew to where it is now? As in how? They started somewhere. Am I right, Kunle?
It wasn't just about money.
Let me say something. Sorry to cut you short.
This Premier League, they started somewhere too.
Yeah, let me quickly say something there. They don't.
Let's not forget that football actually started in England.
That was where I was going, Margaret. Thank you. They are the owners, they are the creators of the game, and over the years they have that legacy. You see, in the midst of all this Saudi Arabia hula baloo,
they come up with another thing.
In the midst of all this Saudi Arabia hula baloo, I was happy when I read that Samuel Chukwueze, our own Samuel, went to AC Milan. Beautiful, ambitious young man. The money will come later, okay? But compete at the highest level. Say that in my time, I played with this and this and that, and those are the big names.
But I actually do not feel that. I think that Saudi Arabia actually have a long-term goal for them bringing in players Before, Saudi Arabia was just a league where you go and retire. But right now, they are bringing in young players who are still in their primes. It means that they have put everything in place. And I don't see Saudi Arabia being like China. I won't see them in the next 4 or 5 years. They will want to build on what they have right now. And they are going to be one of the forces to reckon with. Also, I do not know what it takes in the next 2-3 years or less than that. I think that they will win. We'll be watching them on DSTV very soon.
Yeah, very soon. Don't be bunny.
All I just know is that for an alternative, right? I'm not trying to discard or discredit anything that Europe has. And I'm not saying Europe is still going to remain the standard even in the next 50, 60. But I am just saying that as an alternative, it is not bad to have a league where everything is working and structured. Like I told you, the reason why the places like South America cannot match up to Europe is because South America, like I said, South America, they are the owners of football. All those ones of England is just pride.
They have the most talented players.
The best players in the world have come for South America, period. But does South America have the infrastructure? No. If South America had the infrastructure, I can bet you that Lionel Messi would still be playing it because you can't tell me, for instance, now that the Argentine league is not competitive. It is very competitive. Look at the game between Boca Juniors and Boca Juniors and River Plate. There is no rivalry like it in the world. Look at the crowd it draws. You understand? But the problem is those clubs do not have the finances and the funds. So what I am saying is an alternative where there is money, and like we have, because like I've said, Europe is where it is today. Even if the foundations were there, fine. But Europe is where it is today because of money. The prospect, that is why everybody, like I said, nobody was thinking of going to Europe. Pele didn't go to Europe in the 50s when at his prime, because Brazil was enough for him there. It was not about money. But if it were to be about money, definitely he would have made the move. But it wasn't about money then. So that's why I'm saying that as an alternative to Europe, where everything is well structured, everything is well laid out, you understand, and the environment is there to thrive. Come on, I'm just saying as an alternative, it is not bad. I think Saudi Arabia are onto a long-term thing, and I think it will work. So that's why I feel anybody who wants to go will be bad.
I like the fact, I like the fact that Saudi Arabia are coming on, because we players, clubs in Europe, in the Premier League won't have to pay big money for players outside England. Because when this maybe when you're going for a player, let's say in La Liga or in Italy, England, and that such a player is going to England, it's always like, okay, club in England is coming, let's inflate the price, let's give a high price. But right now with the Saudi being there and there is competition, so it will actually make it more easy for the Premier League club for the price not to inflate, because they will not want to inflate the price for Premier England. Rather, they want to do it for the Saudis. So it's actually good. I like it.
All right.
Good point, Margaret.
Another thought. Sorry, just quickly.
Okay.
Another thought is forming in my mind. So everybody is using what they have to get what they want. The South Americans do not have the money, but they have talent. Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Messi, all those players. That is why Brazil has won the World Cup 5 times. Argentina has won it 3 times. That is 8 from 2 countries. The North Americans and the Europeans, they build on structure and organization. Perfect. And that's why we love their leagues. Okay. Now, the Asians, they have money. So China, Saudi Arabia, what is going on in Africa? We will talk about that later.
Fantastic. Please, moderator, please, you know that we're going to talk about what is wrong with Africa. That's a very good, we've been talking about it, everybody knows, but we are going to dissect, go into it. It's going to be another topic we're going to go for on the Instagram. You know, as I've said, we are going live on Instagram. Anywhere have a good point to discuss. So join this space. Please smash the like on the video. We're almost trying to wrap up. Before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about Women's World Cup. I think Nigeria, we are qualified, or are we out?
Of course, now we qualified. The Super Falcons, I think we really need to celebrate them. Going to the tournament, they were ranked 40th. I mean, deservedly right. We deserve to be ranked 40th because in the previous Women's World Cup, we've done poorly. We've had the highest amount of goals conceded. In fact, we've even added to that tally, But at the end of the day, this set of women going into this tournament, I'm going to be very honest with you. I said it before the beginning of the tournament. I didn't expect much from them. I didn't even expect us to win any game in the group stage. Margaret said the same. From the so-called group of death, we had emerged without losing a single game. That says a lot. Number one, I think it's just down to the players and the coaching staff. They were determined to go into this tournament to be fantastic. And that's what they've been throughout. But I think that we need to probably devise more ways on getting across to goal. The channels down the line is Ajibade and Oshoala. Sometimes Tony Payne gets lost in a game, especially when the opposition midfield seems to be more physically superior to ours. So we need to devise other ways to win games because we're now going into a critical stage whereby you need a victory within that game and possibly avoid penalties. I think we need to avoid penalties. Penalties are not our strong point, especially for the Super Falcons. Let's win the game within 90 minutes or 120 minutes as the case may be. But if they keep this ginger, if they keep the starting 11 fit and strong, but also think of other ways to win games, I think we should explore set pieces. So hopefully the management is able to come up with different tactics on how to win games. And, God's grace and good luck will continue to be with the Super Falcons.
All right. Quickly, Robbie, carry me go to place where no, please, on this Women's World Cup. Talk to me, Robbie. If you have something to say, any updates, carry me go there. Carry me to that place.
Well, I think for the first update for this World Cup, just like Okwe said, is a big congratulations to the to the Super Falcons. I don't think I would agree that the group is a group of death. Because looking at the countries in the group, Australia is not a World Cup winner. Unlike if you're looking at the group where you have Brazil, and if you're looking at other groups as it is. So yes, the group is a fairly tough group, but Nigeria was able to navigate its way out of that group. And of course, this is more or less the first time that Nigeria will actually come out of a group undefeated, and that is courtesy of the coach that we have as it is. And of course, that aside, I think the two shocking results today is the fact that Australia beat the living daylight out of Canada. That is one. Two, the most surprising result of today was Japan spanking Spain by 4-0. And I think if you actually go back to the antecedent of Spain has not conceded 4 goals. The last time they considered about 3 goals was 10 years ago. And like the commentator said, the crowd that saw that game was about 700 people. Saw that game where Spain considered against Switzerland, I believe. That was 3 goals. So for Japan, this is one country, if you look at the physicality of the players, they are not the biggest, they are not the strongest, they are not the fastest. But the Japanese has one thing they call technicality working for them. They know how to make your strength look useless. They pass the ball with the precise weight. They pass the ball with the precise angle, with the precise curve to it. There is something that is so special about the Japanese in how they play football, and it makes it just look so beautiful. If you saw the fourth goal will more or less make you adopt a Japanese name. And it was so well constructed that the flight of the ball into the back of the net just made you start asking yourself, what is going on here? And like the commentator said, it was more or less like there's going to be a Spanish Inquisition after this defeat. I don't think any European team can beat this Spanish team that is more or less filled with a lot of Barcelona players in this team by 4 goals. So for the Japanese to have been able to do it with relative ease, I mean relative ease. I saw the game, just tells you so much about what is happening at this World Cup. So it's a big one for Japan. They are more or less, I think, the only country right now that has been able to win 3 of their games on a bounce, and they did not concede. Their first game, they won 3-0. Their next game, they won 5-0. And their last game, they won 4-0. So they have not conceded a single goal in this tournament as well. So it's big one for the Women's World Cup so far. We're going to see a couple of games tomorrow. US will play against Portugal. That is another game that is very, very important for the Americans because they have 4 points. A draw will see them go through to the next round. But like we said, so far so good in this tournament. It has been something else entirely. And Zambia, lastly before I close, Zambia also won their game today. So all the African teams except for South Africa have been able to win their game. So South Africa has not won a game at all. Zambia won 3-1 against Costa Rica. So it's a good one for the Copper Queens.
All right, thank you so much. Okwe, you have to sign us out. This is how far we can go. Tell our viewers what they need to know. Carry them, go where they know or where they know Sabi. Okwe, over to you. Sign us out, man.
A big thank you to everyone who has joined us on the show today. Be sure to catch the repeat on the YouTube channel, Intercontinental Sports TV on YouTube. Join us on our Thursday debate show. Join us on Friday as well for the review show. And don't forget to check out the website, oneistv.com, and follow ISTV on all social media platforms. Stay tuned to the #1 sports station on YouTube, Intercontinental Sports TV.
All right, Jack is ready. Thank you so much for the show. One love, one love. Come for Chelsea. Thank you so much for joining us. One love. Next season is going to be loud. Don't run away. Don't run away. Thank you so much, Kule. Thanks for joining us on this show.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, boss.
All right. Robbie. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. One love, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Margaret. Thank you so much for joining us on this show.
I would have liked to see Margaret's face.
All right.
We would have liked to see your face.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. It is what it is, bro.
Yeah, I have to go back to work now.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Tonight, same time. Thank you so much, bro. All right, please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video. What else can we say? It's been a long trek. Massive day. All right, until same time next week. The Don is signing out at this moment. Join us on our Instagram for beautiful content, beautiful topic right there. All right, thanks so much for joining us. Bye for now.